In the heart of Yellowstone National Park lies an enigma that has puzzled scientists for decades. A place where water not only exists but thrives in temperatures exceeding 200 degrees Celsius, nearly as hot as the surface of the sun. This extraordinary phenomenon has led to the formation of a unique ecosystem teeming with life despite the extreme conditions. Join us as we delve into this mesmerizing landscape and uncover the secrets of Yellowstone's hidden depths. Welcome back to my channel. In today's episode, we're going to talk about the world's largest supervolcano, and at its core is one of the most perplexing natural phenomena known to man. It's a place where water doesn't just survive, it flourishes in temperatures hotter than the surface of the sun. Yellowstone National Park is renowned for its breathtaking geysers, including the world-famous Old Faithful. But there's much more to this park than meets the eye. Beneath its seemingly tranquil surface lies a vast magma chamber that has the potential to unleash catastrophic consequences. But what makes this place so special? What is it about Yellowstone that makes it such a hotbed for both scientific curiosity and geothermal activity? Well, let's start with the basics. Yellowstone sits atop a so-called triple junction, a spot where three tectonic plates converge. The Pacific, North American and Gorgon plates meet here, creating a rather unstable environment. These plates are constantly moving, albeit very slowly, and their interaction creates immense heat. Picture it like rubbing your hands together. As the plates converge, friction generates heat, causing the Earth's crust to become incredibly hot. To make matters even hotter, these plates are pulling away from each other along the East African Rift Valley. This separation allows magma from deep within the Earth's mantle to rise to the surface. Now, if you've ever seen a pot of boiling water, you know that bubbles are a telltale sign of intense heat. Similarly, the rising magma forms giant bubbles beneath Yellowstone. When the pressure from the magma overcomes the weight of the rocks above it, these bubbles pop, releasing steam and hot water. That's why Yellowstone is a geothermal wonderland, with countless hot springs and geysers dotting its landscape. And while we may think of these features as merely scenic attractions, they're actually key indicators of the park's volatile nature. The constant release of geothermal energy keeps the crust thin and weak. The thinner the crust, the easier it is for magma to reach the surface, meaning that the potential for volcanic activity remains high. Speaking of volcanic activity, you can't talk about Yellowstone without mentioning its supervolcano. Yes, you heard that right. Beneath Yellowstone's seemingly serene beauty lies one of the largest supervolcanoes on Earth. Don't worry, though, because it's currently dormant. However, it's important to remember that dormant doesn't mean extinct. The magma chamber below Yellowstone is still very much active, just waiting for the right conditions to erupt. Now, before we dive into the watery wonderland that is Yellowstone's Norris Geyser Basin, let's take a moment to appreciate the ingenious engineering behind our modern world. From the smartphones in our pockets to the skyscrapers that touch the clouds, human ingenuity knows no bounds. But what truly sets us apart is our ability to harness the power of the natural world, like the incredible force of moving water. Now let's get back to Yellowstone. Did you know that Yellowstone's Norris Geyser Basin is home to over 1,000 acres of steaming hot springs and pools? It's no wonder it's often called the heart of the Upper Geyser Basin. And at the center of it all is the aptly named Porcelain Basin, a stunning pool of water so hot that it can literally boil you alive. But wait, how can water exist in such high temperatures? To answer that question, we need to take a closer look at the water itself. You see, the water in Yellowstone's hot springs and geysers isn't your typical H2O. It's superheated by the geothermal activity beneath the surface. In fact, it's heated to such high temperatures that it reaches a state known as supercritical. When water is heated to around 374 degrees Celsius, it becomes supercritical. At this temperature and pressure, the boundaries between liquid and gas become blurred. The water molecules move so fast that they break their bonds with each other, forming a gas-like substance with some properties of a liquid. This supercritical water is responsible for the mind-boggling spectacle of Yellowstone's hot springs and geysers. It's able to exist in such high temperatures because of the immense pressure exerted by the large volume of water above it. Think of it like a game of tug-of-war. The more water you add, the more force is required to push it aside. This means that the deeper you go into a hot spring or geyser, the hotter the water becomes. Take the Excelsior Geyser crater, for example, located within Yellowstone's Norris Geyser Basin. Its water reaches a staggering 96 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, it's hot enough to cook a nice piece of steak in just under a minute. Imagine dipping your toes in that on a hot summer day. The Norris Geyser Basin is also home to a variety of other fascinating features. For example, the Black Sand Basin is a small cluster of hot springs and pools with dark, almost black sand at the bottom. The sand is rich in iron and other minerals that have been deposited by the geothermal waters. Another notable feature is the colorful array of hot springs and pools scattered throughout the basin. These vibrant hues are due to the presence of various minerals and algae. One of the most photographed is the porcelain pool, known for its brilliant blue color and delicate travertine terraces. But remember, these natural wonders are best enjoyed from a safe distance. The water in these pools is scalding hot and can cause serious burns in just a few seconds. So admire their beauty from the boardwalks and trails, and leave the swimming to the hardy microbes. You might be wondering what exactly is thriving in these extreme conditions. Well, it turns out that some microorganisms, such as bacteria and archaea, have adapted to not only survive in these harsh conditions, but to thrive. These organisms, known as extremophiles, have unique adaptations that allow them to survive in environments that would be deadly to most other life forms. For example, they might have enzymes that function properly at high temperatures, allowing them to carry out essential processes like metabolism. They also have mechanisms to protect their DNA from being damaged by the heat. These adaptations are the result of millions of years of evolution, and have allowed these organisms to become some of the most hardy on Earth. The study of extremophiles in Yellowstone's hot springs and geysers has not only helped us understand the amazing diversity of life on Earth, but has also shed light on the potential for life in other extreme environments, such as those found on Mars or Jupiter's moon Europa. As you can imagine, exploring these extreme environments poses unique challenges. Scientists must develop innovative methods and tools to study organisms that can withstand temperatures that would melt most scientific instruments. They also need to ensure that their own safety by developing protective gear and procedures to prevent contamination of the samples. Despite these challenges, scientists continue to push the boundaries of exploration in Yellowstone's hot springs and geysers, driven by the incredible discoveries that await. In recent years, researchers have used advanced molecular techniques to study the genetic makeup of extremophiles in Yellowstone's hot springs and geysers. This has allowed them to gain a deeper understanding of the adaptations that allow these organisms to thrive in such extreme conditions. They've also explored the potential applications of these adaptations, such as in the development of new drugs or bioremediation strategies. So the next time you marvel at the beauty of Yellowstone's hot springs and geysers, remember that they're not just geological wonders, but also home to some of the most hardy and adaptable life on Earth. Who knows what other secrets these fascinating ecosystems might reveal in the future? Thanks for joining us on this journey into the heart of Yellowstone. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe for more. We'll see you next time.